The next part we are going to go through is how to do we had some bit of a paired sample t-test, and what we are trying to compare is what we have tried to hint already. You tried just to compare the score, the right mindfulness score, baseline versus endline, using the paired t-test, and then you report confidence interval and then standard deviation and all that, and then also you compare for African wisdom, and then you also compare for the right mindfulness, the combination. So, which is more like just do the paired t-test for the overall score for all those analyses. So, let's do paired sample t-test and we'll see how it goes. So, the next part of the analysis, which is the paired sample t-test, all we want to do is that we want to compare the healing statuses of the people who got right mindfulness, then also the people got African wisdom, and then the people got the combination. And all we can see is that we just compare the baseline score versus the endline score of the dependent variable for all the different interventions. So we're going to do both for the intervention group and then the control group. Then we go to the African wisdom, also you do the same intervention group and then the control group. So to begin with the right mindfulness intervention group, if I go and then import the data for the paired t-test, the data for the paired t-test is here, Excel, open. So it is here, the paired t-test, I choose that. Make sure this one is ticked, read variable names from the first row of the data, okay. So I've imported the data, this is what I have. So in the data, this is right mindfulness DV, so there's a healing status for the people who took right mindfulness intervention baseline. Right mindfulness healing status baseline, but for the control group. Right mindfulness healing status endline intervention group. Right mindfulness healing status endline control group. African wisdom healing status baseline intervention group. African wisdom healing status baseline control group. African wisdom healing status endline intervention group. African wisdom healing status endline in the control group. Then the combination of right mindfulness and African wisdom baseline for the intervention group, combination baseline for the control group, and then the endline score. So those are the different combinations we're going to do. So in the first analysis, we want to do the paired t-test, come to analyze, come to compare means, come to paired t-test. So you want to compare the baseline for the intervention group and the endline for the intervention group for right mindfulness. Then you come to the control. You also want to compare the control for the right mindfulness and its endline for the right mindfulness. Or maybe I can do, let me do one pair at a time. So let me just compare the intervention group first of all. So this is what I have. This is what I have. The analysis I have in here. Okay. So when I compare with what we have in the write-up, the one that Starter gave us, we can see that it's saying baseline right mindfulness. We have mean of 1.982, mean of 1.982. The endline is 1.826, endline 1.826. And then this is the mean difference. The mean difference is below in here. Okay, that's the mean difference below here. The other thing, so our mean difference will be here. So this is the mean difference. We have 0.156, 0.156. This is negative. If you come to our equation has baseline minus endline, but it's supposed to be endline minus baseline. So let us reverse that. So it depends on what you have put first. So you can reverse, because you have to do endline score minus the baseline score. So let's go back to compare mean. So let's go back. So I have to put the endline score first. Right mindfulness DV endline intervention versus right mindfulness DV in the baseline. Yeah. So that I can be able to have negative 0.156 as we have in here. These are the standard deviation 0.798 if you round it off. Standard error is indicated right in there. Then the correlation coefficient value is up here. 0.144. At this step, it was not really very necessary to add the correlation coefficient value because we just need the t value which is down below, which we are reporting down, but we could literally add. then the significance of that correlation value is 0.425. But in terms of the pair t-test, which is down here, is where we have reported that details down here. So the t-value is also reported right there, the 1 point. So the t-value will be here. So t-value is negative 1.125. The confidence interval, it's here, right? And then the degree of freedom, the df, the degree of df is here. Then the significant, the p-value is 0.269, which is 0.269. So that is what we have. Okay. Then we go also to the next. In the control group, you also repeat the same thing for the right mindfulness. So when I come to analyze, I come to compare means, paired sample t-test. I can take back this pair. So I need control. So right mindfulness DV control end line versus right mindfulness DV control baseline. So those are the two pairs. Then I click OK. Then you'll be able to find out that in your control group, again, you have this particular value. The baseline score, the mean is 1.87. So baseline is here, 1.87. And you can see those values in there. The correlation coefficient value and then the significant value, the p-value, 0.027. That is for the correlation value. If you come down here, you find the t-test statistics, things like the t-value, which is 4.909, things like the significance, which is 0.01, things like the confidence interval here. So you also find it and you record it accordingly, amongst others. So make sure it is end line minus baseline. That's when you'll be able to get the score. But even if the scores gets reversed, even if it's baseline minus end line, it's only the mean difference, this difference in the mean score, which will be negative. The sign will differ, but the p-value remains the same, the correlation coefficient remains the same. So even behind the scene, it's not always a very big crime to reverse that formula, since you're looking into the mean difference. As long as you know how everything is being done. So you do the same thing for African wisdom and then the same thing for the intervention. So literally, this analysis could be done in a single take. So we come to compare mean, paired sample t-test. Let's say there were no pairs here. So you just make sure all the pairs. So I would make the first pair, right mindfulness, end line versus baseline. Then in the control group, I have end line, first pair versus baseline. Then I come to African wisdom, which is these four. Now I need African wisdom end line intervention group versus its baseline. Then I need its control group, African wisdom end line minus African wisdom baseline. Then I come to the last part, which is the combination. Take the end line intervention group versus baseline intervention group. Take the end line control group versus baseline control group. So those are the 6 combinations. So you can do that in a one take, and then you'll be able to have all your output in here for all the different pairs. So all this other section could literally be run in that single take. So from the all of this section for the paired sample t-test, you can literally run all the 3 intervention based on that. So the 3 intervention plus their 3 controls, those will give you the 6 different pairs which we have in the output. So literally, that is what you would be able to do, so that you have that given to you in a single output. And then you just interpret the results.